you gonna How you gonna earn nowadays? How you gonna How you gonna earn nowadays? How you gonna
Yo, what's going on? Today I'm going to educate you about the 4 stages that every single fashion enthusiast goes through without failure. The intent of me making this video is so that you can analyze which stage you are on, which phase you are on, and maybe you can move up, beyond a phase, or maybe what's preventing you from moving on to the next phase was not realizing that you were actually on one, below the one that you thought. I don't know. We're going to get into it. You're going to understand your fashion sense a little bit better after this video.
Oh, you don't know when. Come on, let me show when. Love keeps singing in my mind. Oh, you don't know when. Come on, let me show when. Love keeps singing in my mind. Come on.
So the first is pre-fashion. Now, this doesn't just mean when you're a little kid and you don't even dress yourself. A lot of people are actually in pre-fashion. This just applies to anybody who either they don't understand the parameters of what makes a good outfit, or they do not actively apply the parameters of what would make a traditionally good outfit to their clothing every day when they get dressed in the morning. Another big thing is when you are buying clothing, you are not thinking at all about how it's going to fit together. You're purely looking at the item for the individual item without thinking about how it's going to, be cohesive with other items. You're purely just looking at the item right in front of you. This is pre-fashion. I'm going to, go past this a little bit fast because I think that most people move past this. But I would say that most people in life, whether they think they're into fashion or not, they are actually in the pre-fashion stage of being a fashion enthusiast. It's the harsh reality that we all have to face. Now, the next phase is introductory fashion. This is where I believe most people who are, consuming fashion content and dressing online, they are actually into the intro fashion phase of their fashion enthusiast lifestyle. Basically what this is you are knowing, basically that there are parameters of putting together a good outfit. And what they are to you basically is it's a little bit, kind of blurred a little bit, but you are putting together pieces that look good together. You understand the outfits are supposed to look, visually cohesive, and you are really into matching colors. However, when there is an item that is super hype, you don't necessarily understand why the item is super popular beyond people liking it. You don't understand what core aspects of that item make it so appealing from a design perspective. Because I think a lot of people who are into fashion, they see clothing items, and they might think, okay, I like this, and it will go with my other items because it is this color, but they're not necessarily understanding what design elements are represented in that piece that represent themselves, style in their stylistic expression. But they just see okay, that looks cool, I like that it has this, I like that it has that. So this is introductory fashion. This is peak fashion. This is when you understand what makes a good outfit, not only for, the wider, clothing fashion landscape, but also what makes a good outfit for you, what complements your body, what cuts and proportions and silhouettes look good on your bodily proportions, and what colors you like, what colors make you feel confident, what color balances you like. When you have all of these down, this is the peak fashion phase of your life. This is also characterized by you basically having a lot of items that flesh out your creative, expression when it comes to clothing. This phase of your life is when you have understood what items truly represent you, and you have honed in on purchasing these items. You understand the stylistic, elements of your style and how they boil down to actual technical elements on an actual item of clothing. You understand why that is part of your style from maybe a historical perspective. Maybe you've done research on your style, maybe the subculture that you are in. You are knowledgeable about this. This is your peak fashion era. This is when you are engaging in content that has to do not only with your fashion, but with the general lifestyle and creative endeavors associated with your fashion. These are all things that are indicative that you are in the peak fashion phase of your fashion. However, it actually goes beyond this. So I call this the post-fashion phase. So once you have been into fashion for a certain amount of time, you have done so many outfits where you have basically shedded, caring about what other people view you, because you have spent so much time perfecting and sharpening your own identity that you are super solid in your identity. So once you are in the post-fashion era of your fashion identity, you are going to be basically switching over from just style and appearance being your identity to now just prioritizing comfort and you're going to be prioritizing utility, basically. So you're going to be wearing clothes based on how they fit your body from a comfort perspective as opposed to how they look. So you're going to maybe go away from more dramatic cuts, and you're going to go towards things that maybe keep you warm, or maybe aerate your body in a hotter temperature. You're going to be wearing clothes not so much to do with colors. Sometimes sometimes you might even wear an outfit where none of the colors are intentionally matched. However, because you have just been into fashion so long, you like all of the individual pieces, so you don't even care. This is post-fashion. This is when you have realized that clothes are meaningless, and because when you find your own style, it boils down to a point where you are so opinionated about your own style that you are the only one who actually cares, because you don't care about anyone else's opinions, only your own opinions for your own style. Once you get to that point and you do it for so long, you realize that if your opinion stops mattering, then no one's opinion matters. And this is the state that I think that we should all evolve to, because at any time we can always pull out those peak fashion era outfits. Did you like this video? I hope you did. I really just want to know, what part of the fashion landscape are you on? If you are not quite in your peak fashion era, if you are still trying to get some more garments, you should check out my Depop. It is linked down below. I have a whole bunch of jackets like this one that have very cool graphics and stuff all over them for very cheap, so you should check that out. But yeah, comment down below, what era are you in? I think this video might help people move forward, because they might realize the things that they didn't understand before. You never know everything. You need to know the stuff that you don't know to learn it. So if you got to this point in the video, drop a like, because you clearly liked it. If you want to see more fashion videos, I drop fashion content. I try and make a fashion video every day. So, hit that subscribe button. But yeah, as I said, Depop down below. Subscribe, like, comment, and yeah, fashion forever. Peace.
How you gonna earn?